So we're here at Winter NAMM 2019. Sadler Vaden, one of the greatest guitar players in the United States, in Nashville, Tennessee. Main gig playing with critically acclaimed and Grammy award-winning songwriter Jason Isbell in the 400 unit.
That's it, 400 unit.
So just so people can get to know you just a little bit more, why don't you sum up the last 8 years of your career in 45 seconds?
Last 8 years. What year is it? Okay.
It's 2020.
8 years
it's 2019.
ago. 8 years ago, I moved from Charleston, South Carolina, and I had a band, and we disbanded. Moved to Nashville, started playing with a band called Driving and Crying. Did that for 2 years, made 4 albums with them, and then got the call to start playing with Jason in 2013. He put his album out, Southeastern, in May of 2013, and I've been there ever since, and I've gotten to make 2 records with him since then. So that's the last 8 years.
What a great move. So for a lot of people learning how to play guitar and just starting out in the industry, the jump between your band, what was the band's called before?
The band I had was called Leslie.
So the jump between Leslie and then getting a call from Jason Isbell to go on, tour and start playing with him, there's relationship in there, there's networking, there's a lot of practice, there's a lot of conversation. So how exactly did that jump, what did that look like, and how'd that happen for you?
I knew Jason when I had my own band because we used to open for him.
Oh, great.
So in the Southeast, we toured a lot. So when you're hitting that circuit, you come across a lot of people. The band Need to Breathe is touring a lot. A guy named Will Hogue was out there. So we're all kind of like crossing each other's paths. So Jason and I had some sort of a connection there just from me opening for him. And when he decided he wanted another guitar player in the band, he gave me a call. So
yeah. Well, isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, it was organic. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good compliment because Jason's not a bad player either.
He's a wonderful player. Yeah.
So to get a call from a good player, to have another guitar player come in, it's pretty honoring, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, you can be humble, whatever, but...
Well, I mean, it was to work with a songwriter of his caliber.
Yeah.
I'm a guitarist, but I also write songs too, and I also like, songwriting. So I jumped at that opportunity. So
one of the signature moments in a live show when you guys play is when you and Jason start facing each other and just start. It's almost like a guitar riff battle, or it's almost like
a duel,
a copycat, a little duel.
Yeah.
So you guys play a lot of dates. Who's winning the duel season? You or Jason?
Well, he just bought a 59 Burst, so I think tonally I'm gonna let him have this one. I think for now.
So let's take note. What it comes down to, guys, is the gear you have, not the times, not the amount of practice you do. It comes down to the guitar.
Well, for us when we do that kind of thing, we don't look at it that way, and
sure.
Of course, you know that, but I will say that there is a little friendly, competitive nature there, and I think we make each other step up each time.
Sure.
Some nights he's really on fire and throwing it at me, and then I'm like, oh my God, I got to come back with something strong here. And then some nights I, throw a fireball at him, and he's like, what the hell was that? So.
It's so great because I don't know of a lot of acts out there that are touring that have 2 very accomplished, capable guitar players. So I mean, if you haven't seen a show, I mean, you've got to go. It's for a guitar player. It's certainly an excellent experience to see 2 amazing, innovative guitar players play at the same time. So I mean, not at the same time, but you know what I mean.
Well, we're always soloing at the exact same time.
So let's get to this. Okay, so between the ages of 14 and 20, 21, maybe there's a lot that goes into a young guitar player's education, practice, things like that. So what are maybe 2 or 3 practical things that people can be doing now before they, become liable to pay bills and things like that and make a living? What are things that they could be doing at this stage of life?
So I mean, some things I did, because I started playing guitar when I was 10 years old. I'm self-taught. A kid down the street took guitar lessons, and he taught me how to read tablature out of guitar magazines. So once I learned how to do that, I could really,
bingo,
get going. So I would say learn as much.
What was the first song?
I'll say the first guitar solo I learned all the way through was "You Shook Me All Night Long" by AC/DC.
There you go.
And that took a long time to learn.
The path to greatness right there.
But that's a really great guitar solo for rock guitar. I mean, there's a lot of things in there that are great that you can use for the rest of your career. But I would say one thing is to start playing music with other humans as soon as you can. And another thing would be to start playing in front of people as soon as you can. And both of those things are things I did when I was 13 years old to 15 years old. And I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because you get better from both of those things.
Totally.
And learning other material. Just learn a bunch of different things that you like.
Yeah. So for your career, how beneficial was moving from Charleston, right?
Yes.
To Nashville? Did that really just open up a ton of doors for you, or were there already a lot of hands wanting Sadler Vaden to come down?
Well, yeah. When you come from Charleston is a musical town. It's a smaller town though. I think you can be sort of a big fish in a small pond, to use that phrase. Yeah. And I think in Nashville you get there and you realize, like, I mean, I'm not the best guitar player on my street.
Sure. Yeah.
So and it's a good healthy thing, because I think you practice a lot more, and you can go and see people that are so great at their craft and pick up something from that. And everybody's just really positive and nice. So I think when I moved there, that's, I realized that I had a lot of work to do, but I also realized that, the work I had done was pretty good. That I was accepted in that community as a guitar player that knows his stuff. So
that's cool. So there are a lot of younger Sadler Vadens out there today, or maybe people our age that maybe want to make a jump into the music industry. So what would you go back? This would be a last question. What's the last thing, or what's one thing that you would tell your younger self without knowing your future that you could be doing now?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, think about that.
Wow.
It doesn't have to be about guitar.
I think I should have stopped at Starbucks more on the road to use the bathroom. Yeah. When you're touring in a van, Starbucks is a good place to use the restroom on the road.
Stretch that bladder. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Sadler, thanks for coming out. Sadler Vaden with Jason Isbell. If you haven't poured a glass of scotch and listened to Southeastern on vinyl with the lights dim, then you have not lived. So go ahead and go do that, and go to a live show. You got to see it. It's fantastic. One of the best guitar players, one of the best guys I know out there right now, Sadler. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Peace.